All right, good morning. Again, Mike Strickler here at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. This is your Thursday routine weekly briefing covering the period from today through next Wednesday, June 2nd, including the Memorial Day holiday weekend. We'll have hot conditions continuing both today and tomorrow ahead of a cold front forecast to settle across central North Carolina late in the day Saturday into Saturday night. And that cold front will be marked by an area of showers and storms and much cooler temperatures following it for the latter half of the weekend. So Sunday, high temperatures likely not to get out of the 60s in most areas, and probably some 50s up across the northern Piedmont, up toward like Henderson, Roxborough, and then over toward Roanoke Rapids. It could be a very chilly day with a lot of clouds and some showers around on Sunday. And then it looks like seasonable conditions, but mainly dry during the early to middle part of next week. And again, we've got that front coming through during the day Saturday, so it will be hot ahead of that. There's a chance of some severe thunderstorms, particularly near the Virginia border. We'll see that in just a minute. Friday afternoon and evening. And then that cooler high pressure building south for the latter half of the weekend and early next week before shifting offshore. And we do start to moderate just a bit as we get into the middle part of next week. But overall, not a whole lot of precipitation to speak of, unfortunately. And the tropics for now are quiet. There are no disturbances that are being monitored at this time. So that's good news with respect to hazardous weather, although we could certainly use the rain from a tropical system if one were to come up our way. But again, all's quiet for now in that regard. This is the accumulated precipitation forecast for the next 7 days. You'll see just some spotty light precipitation for this afternoon and this evening, so just some very isolated shower and thunderstorm activity through this evening. If you're one of the lucky ones, great, but the lucky ones are going to be few and far between. Not a whole lot of precipitation with the showers and storms out there today. That chance does improve a bit for late tomorrow or Friday afternoon and evening, particularly over the western and northern Piedmont as that cold front nears. So the better chances of showers and storms will be up toward the Triad and then over toward the northern Piedmont, Roxborough, some of those same areas that will be cool on Sunday, Henderson, those areas up near the Virginia border. Still uncertain whether any of that activity will hold together through the nighttime hours as it settles down toward the Triangle and the southern parts of central North Carolina. At this time, particularly south of the Triangle, I wouldn't get my hopes up. Probably going to stay dry, unfortunately, for tomorrow night. So that shower and storm activity will likely weaken before getting down in your neck of the woods. But if you live around the Triangle, then there's at least an outside chance that some of those showers and storms could hold together enough to produce a little bit of rain around those areas. And then on Saturday, that precipitation potential is maximized really over the northern coastal plain and the northeast Piedmont. As the cold front settles south, that's where moisture and instability and lift will all be maximized during the day Saturday with that cold frontal passage and following cooling temperatures. Not a whole lot of precipitation depicted for Sunday and Monday, although we will have most likely some light showers around Saturday night into at least the first half of Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if the forecast for the estimated rainfall is updated a little bit to include a little bit bigger area of central North Carolina for some very light showers for Sunday, and then drying out Monday. And the middle of next week, yes, there's a little bit of shading there for precipitation possibility, but that looks very, very isolated in nature and not significant. So again, unfortunately, the theme of this forecast is our best chance of precipitation is late Friday afternoon into early Sunday, but then not a whole lot else. Of course, with very little precipitation in the forecast, there's not a risk of excessive rainfall in central North Carolina. And the severe weather risk Again, I noted, particularly up toward the northern Piedmont and the northwest Piedmont, a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms on Friday. That looks relatively marginal. That's why the marginal's out. There's not a whole lot of wind shear. It looks like some strong to locally damaging wind gusts would be the primary hazards with any of that shower and storm activity. Again, very late tomorrow afternoon into the evening, and maximized up near the Virginia border, with a weakening trend with time and southeastward extent as those showers and storms probably fizzle right around the triangle. There's also a marginal risk for Saturday over the northeastern part of the state along that cold front that will be advancing southward. That's just outside of our county warning area, or just clipping Halifax and Edgecombe County over our far northeast, or very near those counties. Overall, that threat looks very, very limited, particularly for central North Carolina. So we're not really expecting any severe weather on Saturday either. And then for the remainder of the forecast period, either the predictability is too low or there is no risk of severe thunderstorms. And it honestly looks like that risk will be indeed very low. So our best chance of getting anything severe will likely be Friday afternoon and evening. But again, that is marginal. And in both cases, for Friday and Saturday, it's just a very, very small area of central North Carolina that is included in those marginal risks. So the key point there, we're not really expecting any severe thunderstorms, even with those marginal risks touching up against our border in both of those cases. So with that relative dry and the heat that we've had, the drought is expanding. Since last week, both the D0 abnormally dry and the D1 moderate drought conditions have been expanded northwestward. So now pretty much the entire southeastern half of central North Carolina, all the way down to the coast, is now under a D1 moderate drought. And the abnormally dry has been expanded to include all of the northwest Piedmont and the northern foothills and northern mountains. So with this dry weather, the drought conditions are worsening. And unfortunately, with the relative lack of rain, other than, again, late Friday into early Sunday, and that will be very scattered in nature, it's likely that the drought conditions will continue to worsen before they get any better, with the lack of any appreciable rainfall on the horizon. The latest longer-term outlook in the 8 to 14 day or 2-week period is for a little less above normal temperatures over North Carolina. So the very hot conditions that we've had and some of these previous outlooks we've seen in the last couple of weeks, which had well above normal chances for, or high chances of well above normal temperatures, those have been trimmed back now as we're getting into a little bit cooler pattern, or at least a less hot pattern, and equal chances of above and below normal precipitation. So not a really strong signal for either really wet or really dry in North Carolina. So our key points with the weather summary: hot today and tomorrow, temperatures mostly in the 90s. It may be a little less hot today versus yesterday and what we're expecting on Friday. So it looks like the hottest conditions this week were already in the rear view from yesterday, and then again Friday. Basically what we had yesterday should be pretty close to what we will experience on Friday, and then just a touch cooler today, or less hot. And then certainly the cooling trend with that cold front early this weekend, with showers and storms along and ahead of the front, and then just a chance of some light showers and much cooler conditions behind it, and then clearing out and moderating from Memorial Day onward into the middle part of next week. So aside from the low overcast and chance of showers on Sunday, the cool weather will certainly feel nice. Sunday night, we could have some 40s in the outlying areas, otherwise 50s. So a nice cool night, give the air conditioners a break during the latter half of the weekend. And then you could keep the windows open probably for a good part of the early to middle part of next week, with temperatures only getting up into the mid to upper 70s, and relatively cool nighttime lows still in the 50s and 60s, with humidity levels that won't really creep up until we get into the mid to particularly latter part of next week as we start to get increasing return flow around that high pressure as it shifts out toward Bermuda. And that is it for the Thursday weekly briefing. If there are any questions or comments, please put those in the box. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful and very safe holiday weekend ahead.